So, something about my last blog post here on chess.com. I played against Stockfish 8 and I let him play the Aljechen's defense till basically this point right here, I think, or maybe a little bit earlier, and I basically lost very impressively. So the first thing out of the opening was this position you see here. Black plays bishop e6 to provoke d5 and only then plays bishop g4. Take this knight off and fight for the e5 square. Continuing to do so in this little picture here. As you see, bishop g5 take on e3, and then after pawn takes, go knight d7 to e5 with an attack on the queen. So, and this knight here will be here are some nuances of the position. First give the check and then go to e7 to induce yet another weakness or yet another weaknesses, and then put the knight on e5, and this knight is just immortal there. The things you did before is just to get this square, and from here on it attacks just everything. Now you get rid of this knight, and in the long run then you open up the A file, and in the long run this knight is just doing the job of winning the game basically. And here I resigned because now this knight can also take the g pawn, but more importantly this pawn on b5, which was 1, is now running through. But what I wanted to say here is that I played a game with an accuracy of 85.2% and Stockfish 8 basically somewhere around 93 to 100%, probably not 100, but maybe somewhere between 93 and 97% accuracy, or 95 and 97% accuracy. And I really want to point out that I haven't played so badly. I just made 2 mistakes, and that basically was it. As you see, they're continuously going down from here till it was over. And then there was the thing that I wanted to think about in the first place, is that in 2017 there was the big fight between Stockfish 8 and AlphaZero from Google DeepMind, and this is 5 years ago, and now we have Stockfish 15 nearly. So 5 years of development has passed so far, and yeah, the first game ended in a draw in this position, which I don't understand. Stockfish gives it as 0-0-0. The development version would have 2 against the 2 knights, and therefore I would give black more winning chances here, but it's not even pawn symmetry here, so I wouldn't call it a day here, but they call it a day there. Those games were played on my laptop. They were 15-minute games. They are also in this blog right here. And the second game, I don't really understand much about the second game. Well, it was a French, as you see there, and in the end we have a strong knight versus this French bishop, and the winning plan is, and the move Stockfish development chose here against Stockfish 8 was g3. And now then it's black's move. If it's moving the bishop away from this diagonal, it's losing that pawn. If it's moving to that square, for example, it's losing that pawn. If it's moving along this diagonal, it loses this pawn. And then the pawn takes the king, after, for example, bishop here, takes the king, the bishop gives a check, then goes here. Then blocks in the king goes there. And then if the rook moves, this pawn falls. If the king moves, this pawn falls. And if the bishop moves away from this square, the king gets to a4 and then just slowly grows into f6 and wins f7. That's just insane. I mean, frankly speaking, white's down opponent has a king on a1, but if you see it in the bigger picture, white is just completely winning here, despite being down that one pawn. But anyway, this is the thing I wanted to point out, and the last question I wanted to answer was, could Stockfish now defeat AlphaZero? Well, I would say it's a fair fight, because AlphaZero versus Stockfish 8 back in 2017, they have a similar playing style now. Putting a pawn, for example, all the way on h6, suppressing the movement of the opponent's pieces, like here putting them kind of in Zugzwang and yeah, giving away material. Yeah, it's just, and also having a neural net implanted in it. So I think it would be a fair fight, and it would be cool to see it. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao.